Hey there everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Hip Kit Club, and this is my second layout for the month using the 2018 September kits. And once again, I felt compelled to fussy cut some things from pattern paper, and I am just in love with this Indigo Hills 2 collection from Pink Fresh Studio. There are several papers, well, at least a couple. Let me rephrase that. There are several papers from the collection, but there are a couple that have really pretty fussy cutting opportunities on them. And the other paper that I used last month has that beautiful leaf wreath. And for this layout, I just had to cut these pretty flower clusters out. And so that's what I'm going to take some time and do. And so through the magic of editing, I've already got those cut out. And I also was assigned to use cut files for this week. And so I went ahead and did that off camera. And I'm going to use this one. This is one of the cut files for September over on the Hip Kit Downloads tab. And I'm going to scrap this picture of me and my husband. We were on an airplane about to take off. And I've actually already scrapped this photo for another design team, I think, over a year ago, but it matched perfectly, and I don't care. I'll re-scrap a photo if I really love it, and so that does not bother me one bit. Anyway, I cut this amazing piece on another Pink Fresh pattern paper. It's a really pretty dark navy with a little bit of white pattern on it, and I kind of wanted to make it a little lighter and faded in some areas, so I'm just smudging down some white gesso with my hand here. And I'm using the back of my Silhouette Cameo mat there because it's plastic and easy to work on. And so, yeah, I just wanted to kind of make parts of it look kind of hazy. And I already kind of have an idea in mind for what I want to do. And let me show you, I do something different on this layout. I am not using gesso. This is an easy way to add color if you are wanting to try mixed media and you don't want to use gesso, or gesso kind of freaks you out. If you have some inks or sprays, I'm using the two sprays that we got in the color kit. The pink one is called Spritz Cotton Candy, and the yellow one is Vibes Mustard Seed. And then I'm adding some of the gold Minor 49er from last month. So if you have a brayer, this is a great, fun, and easy and fast way to get some color on your background here. And like I said, I did not use gesso. The background paper that I'm using is in the cardstock kit this month, and it's the really thick, I think it's called double thick white from Basil, and it's smooth and really thick, and it's really good at taking liquid or sprays or paints. And I just wanted to show you that you don't necessarily have to use gesso. Now, I went into this knowing that I wasn't going to do a lot of blending and smudging, and what this brayer is going to do is it's going to take a little bit of the color and just smudge it really thin. So it's going to dry really quickly, and I'm going to get lots of color and kind of a splotchy look, but it's not going to be enough liquid to really make the paper warp. I'm also going to add some splatters here. When I do use gesso, usually I'm using the packaging technique, or I'm using more water, and I want the color to run and blend together with other colors on the paper, and so the gesso is really good for that. But in this case, if you're going to use a brayer, I don't think you have to use it. And you can see here the results that I got. Now, I am going to come back in with my brush and do a little bit of smudging, and it was fine because I'm just doing just a little bit of it here. And I wanted to pull in some of the mustard seed again to pull in some more of that deeper yellow that is in the middle of some of those flowers. And if you got last month's color kit, that Minor I can't even say it anymore. Minor 49er is so shimmery and golden and gorgeous, and you can kind of see it there on the paper there. And the two colors from this month, the Spritz and the Vibes, they also have shimmer in them, and so this winds up being very pretty and shimmery. And I'm trying to keep it with mostly pinks, yellows, and golds here with a little touch of the dark blue. And I usually cut my cut files with white, but I just decided to go for a different look here and cut it in dark. And I'm not going to back it at all. I'm just going to leave it open and let that background show through there. And I think it's going to turn out really pretty. So yeah, if you have a brayer, definitely use it to apply your color like this. Or if you don't have a brayer, they're not too expensive. I think I got mine at Michael's for under $10. It's been a long time, but it's a great way to get some color on there, and you just roll it down. You know, there's no tricky way to do it. You just roll it into the paint and smudge it down. And you could also do that with acrylic paint or even texture paste. Whatever you have, just smudge it down and see what looks you get. So for backing my photo, I'm going to use some tissue paper from my stash, a really pretty pink Project Life card, and then a piece that I tore from one of the Maggie Holmes Willow Lane papers. And it's the perfect yellow. It matches that golden yellow on the background and in the flowers of this pink fresh paper perfectly. And I'm going to tuck my photo right there, and I love how those flowers overlap it. I was so excited about how that came together. And you can see here how basically the design is finished. Everything else from here on out is just going to be little embellishments here and there. And I am totally loving these pink Paisley Auburn Lane rub-ons. Those were added into, I think, the embellishment kit to replace the Jen Hadfield ones from, I think it was last month or maybe the month before. I can't remember. I can't keep them straight because everything just kind of blends together. But I'm sure you remember the rub-ons that did not work. Well, these are gorgeous and they work perfectly, and I used quite a bit of them on this layout actually. I also wanted to incorporate some of that pretty Maggie Holmes gold foiled vellum. So I'm going to fussy cut out 3 sets of leaves and just use those as little accents. And I love how this turns out. I wish I had an unlimited supply of gold foiled vellum leaves because they're easy to cut and they look so pretty tucked in behind things. Like the photo, the flowers, and it's just the perfect amount of gold, you know? They're just so pretty. So I added some of the rub-ons, as you could see there earlier. I'm going to come in more with those, but I know that this is how I want everything to go. So I'm going to very lightly add little dabs of glue here and there underneath everything. So it's all going to be stuck down there. I don't want the leaves stuck down all the way because I want to be able to kind of curl up the edges. So I'm just adding the least amount of glue as possible just to kind of make sure it's going to stay there. And I'm just going to glue my photo straight down. Usually I add some foam behind it to give it a little bit of lift, but since I'm tucking it underneath there and I've got a couple things layered behind it, I'm just going to glue it flat down. I'm going to go through the little rub-ons here and rub on some of the hearts, and they match perfectly. They match perfectly. I can't believe that I've already used 3 different manufacturers here and everything looks like it goes in the same collection. I've got Pink Fresh Studio, I've got some crepe paper, and now I'm using some pink paisley. And I just love how Kimberly is able to envision things like this. She puts the best things together and it just flows because everything matches. And these rub-ons are perfection. So I'm back to the Pink Fresh Studio things here. I pulled out several things over here on the left. I know it just looks like a big pile, but I sorted through things that were that navy blue color, the pinkish coral color, and yellow. And I'm just going to start to play around with things. I'm going to use what I had left of that die cut frame with the scallops. I have a couple of these loose little die cut flowers here that I'm going to make work here and there. And the fun thing, I know I've said this several times, but the fun thing and the great thing about using a really big cut file like this is it takes up most of the page and it limits where you can put your photo. And so once you have that down, the rest of it is just embellishing. And I knew that I wanted to use those 2 floral clusters, and I wanted to put one over on the left and one over on the right. And there's really not a lot of space left for other things. And so it's kind of a, I guess you could call it a no-brainer layout, so to speak, because everything is just sort of telling you this is where this should go. Because if you can see over to where the Z is, there's the little open area there. It's perfect for those flowers. And then I wanted to overlap my photo with some flowers. And so it just kind of makes the design or the layout come together for you. And I love that because it just makes the embellishments part of it a lot easier. You can see here I'm just sticking stickers. I'll try one here, try one there. I'm going to use one of the circle stickers that says, I can't even read it. I can't remember what it says. But the one up top I just added says together. And I'm going to add some matching enamel dots in that pink color. This is the kind of layout that just, it flows. Once I knew where the cut file that I was going to use it, because I knew it was going to go right in the center, and then there's two flowers and then my photo, everything just kind of came together. And my biggest struggle now is my title. And I thought I was going to use this rub-on that says Hello You. So I went ahead and rubbed it off on some vellum, and then I was going to fussy cut it out. But then what happened is when I got that done, it kind of blended in too much. You couldn't see it. It didn't really stand out against the background, so I changed my mind. And I'm just going to go simple. And I'm going to use that Pink Fresh Studio sticker that says Obsessed with You because I just thought it was cute. And I like how it tucked right in there to the bottom of the Z. And then I'm going to start to add in my thread. You probably thought, where's the thread? I'm going to add in some of the golden yellow color underneath the flower that's right there by the G. And then I'm going to add in some blue over here underneath the left corner of the photo. And the thread this time is very subtle, but it is there. And you can see it in the close-ups and a little bit better in person. But yeah, I really love how this turned out. I think this is one of my favorite layouts that I've made for hip kits in a while. And it's all because of the cut file and just fussy cutting things out. I know several people have said that they just don't have the patience for fussy cutting, but I promise you, if you take the time to fussy cut out some images, you're gonna love the results because you just get a whole different look than you would if you just used it as is on the paper. So don't be afraid to take a couple minutes and cut it out. This took maybe 10 minutes to cut these flowers out, so it wasn't that big of a time investment. But anyway, I'm using my gold pen to write a little bit of journaling, and I did add the date in gold ink, but that's the final layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I absolutely love how this turned out. These kits this month are just out of this world beautiful and so many pretty things. It's hard to choose. But yeah, definitely check out the pattern papers and fussy cut some things out because you can get some really, really good results from doing that. I took a ton of close-ups here, so let me know if you have any questions about the kits or anything that I did or any of the techniques, anything at all. I'll be more than happy to answer you. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.